What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Evan with a Cut Above Knife and Leather Company. Today I've got a quick tip on for the leather making side of the business. So I use this press to do a lot of my embossing for my letters, numbers, and different stamps, Maker's Mark, American flag, stuff like that. So you can get these pretty cheaply. I think you can get them at Harbor Freight still, but you can get them on Amazon. But so a lot of people I see, they try to, sorry about that, they try to use these on a bench top and they don't put anything underneath them, or they don't bolt them down. Or if you're like me, I don't really have dedicated space just to lay this stuff out in my shop. Sorry for the mess, but it is a shop. So what I've done, instead of just screwing this into the base time after time after time, ruining your workbench, what I've done is for different tools that I use, I've put these threaded inserts. These are 1/4-20 thread inserts. If you don't know what those are, they look something like this. You drill a hole, then you thread these in with an Allen key. Then you can have some bolts that you can semi-permanently affix this to your workbench, and it's super strong. And it's not going to move around on you, because as you press down on this, the back's going to lift up and you're not going to get a good embossing. And it's not good. So that's one mod that I've done to it. So it's loose right now because I'm getting ready to take this up, and I thought I'd do a video, but I've got permanent thread mounts here that I can thread this into the workbench time after time after time. It's going to be strong. I'm not running these down with an impact. I'm just running them down with a wrench till it's snug. I'm not looking for this thing to be so tight to the bench that I just need it so it's not going to move around. The second thing, the regular platen here that it comes with is this guy here. This doesn't work for what I'm using it for, so I got this piece of Delin. I believe I just got it off Amazon. This is the size that it came in. Just do all this one-handed. I fixed it with a screw to the bottom. That is super strong. I tried a piece of plywood for a short time. That did not work, because over time, since this got so much force, it was bowing the plywood and it wasn't giving me a very flat surface. This Delrin is much stronger. I don't anticipate this moving around under the weight of this press. If it was a bigger press, the Delrin may not be a good option, or I may need a thicker piece of Delrin. This is, I believe, 3/4 inch piece of Delrin there. The second thing, so there are some very expensive feet that you can get for these presses that are on like Etsy. I want to say there were upwards of like $60 to get a foot that is basically just a piece of square tubing with a piece of metal on the bottom that was welded. I don't have a welder here, so I went to my local Home Depot for like $2. I got a black pipe cap. I then took this rod out. You take these bolts off this this retainer, and I took this out, kind of rounded off the edges so that this fit on there. I drilled and tapped some, I believe they're 1/4-20 as well, bolts into the side so that it fixes on there. And then before I did all that, I took it over to my belt grinder and flattened that off so it's nice and flat. So that now when I put I got a piece of leather there, put my stamp in the way I want it. Now I got a flat surface there, got a flat surface there, so everything's mating up really well. Then when I press down, see if you don't have it fastened, it's gonna walk around, you're not gonna get a good stamp. But I mean, that's very lightly pressing on it, so you can imagine what it looks like when it's pressed on there really nicely. So that's how you can take a cheap press and make it into a good press for leather work. Ooh, we're out of focus there. So that's just some of the things I've done in my shop. If you have a small shop and you have to be very modular with the stuff that you're doing. For me, I do, because I'll go from week to week. I'm sharpening 200 chisels on this workbench here. Then I'll be doing leather work the next week, or vice versa. The next day I might be doing leather work. So I need to be modular on this workbench that I'm at. And so things come and go, they move, they get put away. Like my chisel sharpening stuff's all down there. That gets brought up here on the workbench. My leather stuff gets pulled off. So you see where we're going here. Ideally, perfect shop, I would have all this stuff permanently affixed. My leather stuff would be on one side of a shop. All my dust collecting or dust creating stuff would be on another side of the shop where it's not going to interfere, so I wouldn't have to constantly be deep cleaning every time I'm bringing out my leather stuff to keep it clean. But 'tis life. That's where we're at. So I hope you like this video. Hit that like, that subscribe button for all you guys that have been here. We've just hit, I believe, 1,300 subscribers. So thank you very much. And we'll see you on the next one.